Hey everybody, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 64 of the new Coffee and Comic Show. And as you can see, I am not alone. I got my good friend Bob. Bob, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing great. We actually had a pretty fun day today.
It was an awesome day today.
We got to meet some pretty cool creators. I've actually met them before, and I think you have.
I have as well.
But we got to see David Mack. You got your picture taken with. Thanks for letting me take your picture.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're
very
welcome.
much.
And then Brian Michael Bendis showed up.
Showed up like an impromptu meeting. It was really cool.
Very cool. So we got a little time to talk with him again. You know, I've talked to him in the past, and some really good news. And you were right there.
Yep.
Brian Michael Bendis' schedule is open next month, and he's agreed to come on the show and do an interview in-house.
Which is awesome. I mean,
he's like coming over to the house.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing doing a Skype interview, but actually coming and being in-house, it's awesome. I can't wait.
That'll be fun.
It will.
So, should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. We'll get in contact with him here very soon. We'll get that all set up. Like you said, his schedule is very free next month, and which is just right around the corner. So, we need to get that ball rolling.
That is awesome.
Very much so. But we always start off with the coffee that we're drinking. And today we're drinking hazelnut latte because the official coffee shop, Mocha Express, the best coffee shop, was unfortunately out of eggnog latte tonight. But that happens. But hazelnut latte is still good. What are you having?
I actually have an iced coffee with some vanilla-free, sugar-free vanilla sweetener in it. It's actually pretty tasty. And here on the show, I have to give you just a little bit of bad news. When I was there, it wasn't just about tonight. They said they think they're out of the eggnog for the rest of the year.
That's not true. That's not true. He's spreading lies.
I am not.
Would you? No.
I wouldn't do that to you. Not on that level. That's like socking you in the gut.
No. Anyway, Mocha Express, the official coffee shop of Comics with Bueller. Thank you so much. I'll be in there tomorrow morning to get my eggnog latte, despite what Bob said.
Okay.
Yeah,
just trying to look out for you, man. Didn't want you to be disappointed when you walk in.
No. Okay, let's go ahead and get to our giveaway from last week. We'll go ahead and jump into that right now. Yeah. We have our giveaway. This is brought to you by Blackbox Comics. They sent us these books. This one right here was for the Psycho List, issues 1 through 4. And the winner of this giveaway from last week is Brett F., a gentleman who leaves comments on all our videos. Yeah. It's paid off. He's the winner of these books. Congratulations, Brett F. Just send me your information. Actually, my email is down below. Check out my email. Send me your information, and we'll get these mailed off to you. Brett F., congratulations. That's pretty cool.
It is cool. Congratulations, Brett. Love that you leave comments on our videos. They're usually pretty well thought out. Yep. And so, congratulations, man.
Very cool. Very happy to be able to give those out. But we're not done because we have one more week of giveaways that was brought to you by Blackbox Comics. And these ones right here, IT, and this is issue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is this week's giveaway. All you have to do to enter to win these books is just leave a comment on this video, and you're entered into the giveaway for these books brought to you by Blackbox Comics. Thank you, Blackbox Comics.
Thank you.
For sending us these books, and now we get to give them away free to people that watch the show. So that's a pretty good deal, right?
That's a perk.
Very much so. It's a great perk. So very cool. So those are great. Like I said, Brett F., you were the winner. Make sure you contact me. I appreciate that. We got a couple other things. Bob, I want to give you a little bit of a spotlight and talk about your channel, Everything Comics. Bob has his own channel, and right now it's fairly new. He's only got about 200 subscribers. I know that I have close to around over 1,000 people watch this coffee video within the first day. And if you guys could do me a favor, Bob is a permanent fixture on this channel and on this show. If you can go show his channel some support, Everything Comics, the link is down below. Let's see if we can't get him up to 400 subscribers by the end of the week. How about that?
That would be awesome.
So you like to film videos at a rival coffee shop?
I wouldn't say rival. I mean, we have a plethora of coffee shops out here in Portland, and we just happen to film at 2 different ones. I bet you the owners would hang out with each other. But bottom line is, yeah, it's true. I do hang out at a different coffee shop because they let me film there. And so on my channel, I usually film there on Saturday mornings. Sometimes I have guests on the show. Bueller comes, Sam comes, Sleepy Reader 666, Damien, he comes, and it's an awesome time. And what I do is I actually get a little spoilery into reviewing some of the comics that just came out on New Comic Book Day a few days before. Let you know what was on my pull list, and have some coffee and talk about comics. And we just have fun. We could talk about comics for hours.
Yeah.
And then I got some new stuff going forward. I have a new show that I'll be doing with my wife called Teaching My Wife Comics. She's really gotten into comics here lately, and I'm going to basically give her a bunch of comics to read, and she's going to come back and let us know what she likes about them, what she doesn't like.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know. Well, the rub of it is that now I got to do stuff that she would like to do, and so that'll be the fun part of the show. And then planning on doing a couple of Comic-Con countdowns, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Tune in, give me a like and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys, and I love being a part of your show, man. Thank you.
Awesome. And like I said, the link will be down below. You can also check it out at the end of this video. It's really easy to find on YouTube. Just type in the search engine Everything Comics, and you're going to find it right away. And my face will be on there quite a bit, along with this guy as well. So,
absolutely.
Great channel, good guy, deserves our support. So do me a favor, go find his channel, subscribe to it, and watch his content. You won't be disappointed.
Hey, thank you.
I want to say we are going to be doing an auction this Thursday evening. I'm thinking it's probably like 5:30. Small comic book auction, maybe around 20 lots. It's just myself. Got to pay the bill, so I got to sell some books. That's just the way it goes, you know. So if you're free this Thursday night, probably like I said, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5:30, somewhere in there. That's when we'll start doing the auction. So please join me. And another thing is, well, that's it. We're going to go ahead and jump on to our top 5 right now.
All right.
Our first 5 is like what we like to call it. Mm-hmm. We show 5 comic books at the very beginning, each of us. And at the very end, we show 5 comic books, the final 5. But I'll let you go first with your first 5 books.
Sure. And I was going through my comics, and I remember this run of Justice League, written by Grant Morrison. And so I brought a few issues there. I got issue number 7. And then I have issue number 8, which is Under Lock and Key story. It's a one-shot. Then the issue 9, which is Keys to the Kingdom. And then probably my favorite Grant Morrison JLA storyline. It starts here in issue number 10, which is Rock of Ages. And then this is the second part of Rock of Ages. I love that Joker love on the cover there.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. All right, I got my 5.
All right, what do you got?
So I have Batman number 85, The City of Bane, The Final Conclusion. Mm-hmm. And this is Tom King's final writing for Batman. Mm-hmm. That's not why I'm showing it. I'm pretty happy about that. But honestly, at the very end of this book is the preview for James Tynion, his run on Batman. I believe it's his writing. There's like 3 or 4 pages. And good news is, and it looks like the Joker is back.
All right.
And, you know, what's better than the Batman and Joker storylines?
Yin and yang.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to number 86 and having the new writer and my favorite villain go up against Batman. So pretty excited.
That's awesome stuff.
This book I actually found in the 50-cent bin. It's Deathlock number 6. It's autographed, and I don't know who it's autographed by. I need to do some research. You guys probably can't see it, but every time I can find an autograph sitting in those 50-cent bins, they're out there. You just got to look.
Yeah.
I always pick them up. So kind of cool. This next one is the Venom 21 brand new Venom Island storyline. The main reason I'm showing this book is we did a review on it, and the link to that review will be at the end of this video, so check that out and let us know what you thought about the book, and you can find out what we thought about the book. Mm-hmm. Another one I have is from Boom Studios. This is Heartbeat number 1. Got this one. Haven't read this book. Heard some things about. Looking forward to taking some time and reading this one and getting familiar with it. I think issue 2 already came out or is on its way, so I'm not too far behind. And my last final 5 just got into this series, Once and Future number 1. This has been a tremendous series. It's on a lot of people's favorite lists.
Yeah.
And I got some of these books. I can get caught up. I think this is like the 6th or 7th printing. I don't know for sure of the number 1. But looking forward to reading this. I know you're going to be reading it here very soon.
This week, actually.
Yeah. So hopefully we get caught up on this series and we can do some reviews on that series as well. Because like I said, it's a lot of people's favorite books.
Yeah.
So Very cool. Some nice books, some boom books, some autograph books, some new writers coming on the Batman. That's pretty awesome,
Just
right?
a smattering of everything. I love it.
A little bit of everything. But we're going to go ahead and shift gears, and we're going to talk about our topic or our question that we asked from last week's sneak peek video. Mm-hmm. What we do is we ask a question during the sneak peek video at the very beginning, and we talk about all the responses that we get, because we get tons of comments about that question. Mm-hmm. And honestly, there is well over 100 comments about this question, and this is a great question. The question was, are comics too expensive?
Great topic.
Cover price, new books. I also said if you wanted to talk about old books or back issues, you could, but for the most part, I think people kind of stuck with new comic book prices and the cover price that we see at our comic shops. We got a bunch of great comments that we're going to read, but let's go ahead and jump into it. And Bob, you were up first with the first comment, and we're going to go from there.
All right.
That's your list over there.
It is. Brought my eyes today.
Yeah, sometimes you get confused where you're supposed to go, right?
You know I do.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thanks a lot for pointing that out, pal. All right. And so the first comment comes from the Venomized Beard. Of course, you left a comment last week. Thank you very much. And so he says, are comics too expensive? Well, to me, the retail price of each book is perfectly in the appropriate price range, in my honest opinion. The issue I have is the price for variants. I feel my LCS subscribed to Key Collector app and it seemingly pulls variant keys for each week and sells them for eBay prices instead of retail. I've had to stop shopping at my LCS and go to online retailers instead. Interesting comment. What do you think about that?
Well, you picked that one out.
I did,
and it kind of, I don't think you enjoyed what he had to say about that LCS.
I didn't, because at the end of almost every one of my videos, I always point out, please support your local comic shop. Without your local comic shops, these things go out of business, and it hurts the industry. And so, my suggestion, I don't want to give anybody unsolicited advice, but my suggestion is that if they're selling variants for a much higher price, then just don't buy the variants. But definitely support your local comic shop. Not to say that online retailers are bad, but we have too many of these shops closing down, and I'm a big supporter of keeping the community alive. Having said that, this does bring up a good point. And we actually talked about this in our roundtable discussion that we had last night. That shops are actually being pressured because of the way the industry is to come up with creative ways to be able to stay afloat. Yeah. And in my own area, my LCS actually has some variants that are higher priced. And there's another store just up the street that has them for cover price. Yeah. And so, I think some shops, because of the way, things are priced and the way they're pressured and having to make decisions about how many comics to buy, I think it puts them in a very tight spot. And so they're forced to do things like that. Yeah. I don't fault them for it. But I'm one of those that I won't buy it at a higher price like that, especially not when I can go up the street and get it for, cover price. Yeah. So he does bring up a really good point there.
I think one of the points about this comment is it sounds like he doesn't have a lot of options as far as shops to go and buy those books. We, on the other hand, are very lucky. Yeah. We have multiple locations to choose from and stores to go to, knowing that if this one doesn't have it, the other one probably will. Right. Now, the practice of comic shops, marking up variants to make more money, I understand why they do that, because they're not getting rich, selling comic books. No comic shops ever really are. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, as far as a comic shop, do you want to support the customer that walks in the door, or do you want to support the bot that's on the other end of the internet type thing that's buying something? Right. My personal feeling would be I'm going to support the person that walked in the front door and took the time to drive down to my shop and to get the books. Right. So on one hand, I fault the comic shops for doing that. I think it's kind of shady. But on the other hand, I realize they're trying to stay afloat, and they're taking matters in their own hands to try to do so. So it's kind of a slippery slope.
It is.
But honestly, my first gut reaction would be take care of your customers. The customers that come down every week, those are the people you should take care of first. What you have left over, then you go and do the eBay and type stuff like
Sure.
that. I think that nobody would fault a shop at that. But at the very beginning of this, he's okay with the price of the books.
Yes.
You know, the cover price of the books. But it sounds like this shop takes it upon themselves to mark that up, which is unfortunate. Go ahead. You got the next one as well there, Bob.
So this one comes from, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I think it's Duke Lee. I think it's a Vietnamese name. Go Vietnam. And so, so it says, when you walk into the LCS today, you don't see 10 to 15-year-old kids come in on New Comic Book Day anymore. I'm 47, and back in the 80s, I could walk into the store with a $10 allowance and buy at least 10 books. $5 for a comic book is too damn expensive, especially when there's at least 30 titles that come out every week. I'm just going to stop buying ongoing series and buy key books instead. If I want to read a good story, I'll just wait for the graphic novel to come out. Time to reinvest my weekly spending on new comic books towards Silver Age books.
I see exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And for one, most comics right now are $3.99 to $4.99. And I know I've had some people kind of like, oh, what do you mean they're $4.99? Well, I mean, I'll just give you some examples. The whole X-Men, House of X, Power of X, I'm pretty sure those were all $4.99 cover price. Mm-hmm. Now, did they have extra pages in them? They did.
They did.
But they were literally like not part of the story itself. They were like you needed the encyclopedia in that book to know what was going on.
Right.
And pretty much the extra pages were the encyclopedia part to tell you what the hell was going on.
Right, kind of like maps and appendices.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Those were the extra pages. The actual pages in the book were the same amount of story pages in the regular book. That was $3.99.
Right.
So a lot of times they say, oh, they're going to be a little bit more because there's more stuff in it. That was kind of misleading to me. I noticed on that book. A lot of number ones that come out right now are all $4.99. Not all of them, and sometimes they're a little bit thicker, but not by much.
Right.
You know, and some other ones that came out, the DC, the B cover, the cardstock cover, those are $4.99.
Right.
Those have been that way for quite a while, type thing. And you can get the regular cover for $3.99, but the cardstock cover is $4.99.
Right.
So there is a wide variety of prices for books, and I'm not even talking about the black label stuff and some of the ones that are $6, $7.99, and then you have some other books that are $2.99, like one title or two titles. And you have some independent publishers that put out like books that are only $1 or $2.
Right.
But for the most part, they're $3.99 to $4.99. That adds up really quick when you're buying 10 to 15 titles a week.
It does.
And not to mention the fact that these books are now every other week they come out. They're twice a month for the most part on these books.
Yeah.
Most of them, I think it's like 80%. As far as a regular ongoing title, it's pretty much like every 2 weeks you get another book. Mm-hmm. So every 2 weeks it's $8 to $10 per book.
Right.
That's a lot of money when your pull list is just going up and up and there's new titles type thing. I could see where he's like, I'm just getting tired of it. You know, I'm going to go to the graphic novel. He's going to save a little bit of money by doing that. He's going to go to the Silver Age comics, and the money that he puts into those comics might actually pay off a little bit better, you know, because they might have a little bit more value than some of these books that are out right now. You know, we're going to get into the price structure a little bit more going down these responses that we have. But I totally understand someone wanting to switch over and start buying back issues and stuff, and they probably feel as though they get a little bit more bang for their buck.
Absolutely, and I've actually, you know, at one point I contemplated doing that very same thing myself. Just because, you know, I mean, opening up my pocketbook and taking a deep dive on buying new comics every week, it's an investment. Yeah. And not an investment that, you know, I need to, I can't depend on that investment to give me something back besides the story. So I'm either buying it for the story or I'm buying it to see the value go up. And we already know. Yeah. I mean, if you try to buy, you know, a pull list to see the value go up, unless you're specking on everything, you know, you're not going to get it. And so it is a lot of money. I mean, for me, you know, I have to budget, and so. But I get exactly where he's coming from.
Very much so. Bob, you're up again.
Yeah.
3 in a row.
All right. And this one comes from Rod Comisavet. I think that's how you say it.
Rod Comic Vet.
Rod Comic Vet. Thank you for pointing that out. I lost my direction again. All right. This is a good question and hard to answer. Here is my reason. When you purchase a comic today, you're not just buying a story, you're now buying the cover art that comes with that story. All the publishers have invested in cover artists and the attention they can bring to a title. Just think of all the times you walk into an LCS and was blown away by the cover and bought it to realize the story sucked. So the artist becomes as popular as the writer. You can expect prices to rise. For myself, if the story is good and artwork is great, then I don't mind buying a comic at the current price or $4.99. But as prices rise, I'll be passing on more titles that I would normally try and only buy now what I like. Interesting.
Well, publishers know that we are visual people.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think the main thing right now for a comic is, for one, story and the cover. That's
Sure.
the appeal. It seems like the thing that gets talked about the least is actually the art that's in the book.
Right.
It's always like, oh, the story's really good, and then like, oh, the cover is awesome. I got to get that cover type thing.
Right.
It used to be different. It used to be like who's the artist? That's what it was about.
Right.
Who's drawing the book? I can tell you who did the cover, and I can tell you who did the story, but 9 times out of 10, I don't know who drew the book.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still from that old school, back in the day, it was about who drew the book. And I still have not a bias, but I still have a preference for that type of artwork. I actually talked about it in one of my videos this morning. There's a lot of comic book art that's coming out today that I think is not good for the industry. I think it's very lazy artwork where it's just line drawing and a bunch of coloring. They make the coloring creative, but it really isn't a great artwork. And I think they do that because they can pump it out really quick.
Yeah.
Right. But he has a point. The cover art is so good. I think, like I've said before, we're in a renaissance of amazing cover art. And
so you just want the pretty cover.
I want both, right? I want both. I will buy those covers, but when I buy those covers, I'm buying it for the cover.
Yeah.
Right. If the story is great inside, great. Usually on my regular pull list, I'm buying because certain writers I like.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, how much will you spend? I mean, how much are you sitting there like, okay, the regular cover price of this book is $3.99.
Right.
But this cover is, I really like it. It's more money. I mean, are you going to shell out the more money? And they're already expensive. They're already $3.99 to $4.99. Mm-hmm. And then, like the first comment we talked about, the gentleman said, "Hey, my LCS pulls the variants and he marks them up because he knows that they're key or whatnot." Does that bother you? Will that deter you if there's a cover out there? Man, I gotta have it. I'm gonna spend the extra $10 that they marked it up. I'm gonna do it. I mean, does that?
No, I mean I've bid on that before.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that I have so many great covers inside of my collection now, it just becomes another cover.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to stay away from emotional purchases.
Yeah.
And that's the type of buy that would be. I have to have it. I spend the money on it, and then it just goes in a box. If I want to buy something and pay that much money for, I want to display it, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't end up being that way.
Yeah.
So I've completely gone away from that. I'll buy variant covers if they're the normal cover, or if it's an incentive cover that I know I'm going to be spending more for. Some of those I don't mind spending a little more money on because I'm going to get that sucker signed and have it sent to CGC.
Yeah. We have a few more comments on here, and there's one comment that's coming up. It's towards the end, but it brings into play the discount that you get at a comic shop. And it's a very interesting comment, and I just wanted to, because I know a lot of people are like, well, what about the discount that you get? You save a little bit of money that way. Mm-hmm. And that is something we're going to address, and it's going to come up here in a minute. But let me go ahead and jump on this one from Ian Fiddler. Ian, thank you. I'd say that comic prices definitely seem high as a new person getting into buying comics weekly. $30 to $40 a week for a few books is mostly unattainable for lots of people. Mm. Even if you only wanted to keep up with a couple of books, that's still around $10 a month, which is equal to a Netflix subscription. However, talking to my dad about his comic buying days, 50 cents and 75-cent comics were almost as stressful on the wallet back in those days. So overall, I think if the prices were a little less, there would be a lower cost of entry. But I don't think they have gone up crazy amounts in relation to the times. Great video as always. So obviously he's talking about inflation.
Sure.
And the $3.99 price point has been somewhat constant for a while now. There's been some exceptions. DC did when they initially went to 2 books a month. For Batman, this is a couple years ago. They were $2.99, and they slowly phased that out to go back up to $3.99 type thing. Do you think they're on par with inflation? I mean, I'm trying to sit there and I think, and I look at a comic book, and I mean, these things at one point were a quarter or 10 cents or whatnot. I mean, I think the earliest I can remember buying a comic was maybe 40 cents, type thing. And now we're looking at $4. So, a big increase to me. I think the difference is there's a lot of titles out there, and when you're buying multiple books every week,
right,
it adds up fast.
It does. It really
and then
does.
you see that number at the end of the day. You don't see the individual total. I just bought 15 books. 3 of them were a number 1. Those were $4.99. Oh, I got a DC Black Label. That was $6.99. Oh, here's another thicker book that came out called Incoming. I don't even know what that is, but that was $9.99.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're sitting there with an $80 bill, and you're getting a handful of comics. I think it's the final sticker shock when you pick up your full list. That's what's kind of overwhelming.
Right. Absolutely. And as far as it being on par with what prices used to be in back in the day and what inflation has done, I'd like to study that a little bit more. I know they went to better paper, right? But I don't think that it warrants coming up to the price that it is today based upon the product that you're getting.
It's paper.
It is paper.
It's paper.
And it used to be printed on pretty much toilet paper, right? And
what
so
kind of books were you reading?
that's what they used to say back in the day. But bottom line is they went to a better quality supposedly,
Yep.
and but really you as well as I know that they're not paying that much more for that paper.
Yeah.
But I do also have a very soft spot in my heart for the artists and the writers. Right?
Yeah.
They don't have benefits. It's all work for hire, and they need to make their money. And of course, the publishers that are hiring them, they're making their money on top of it. And so there's this trade-off there that sometimes I don't mind paying the price because I know it's going to fund somebody's bills. But at the same time, our artists in the industry are paid crap, compared to other places. And so. The price that we pay for books nowadays, I don't know if I can honestly say that they're on par with what inflation has brought to it.
Yeah.
I know that the $3.99 and $4.99 price to me seem high because there's a lot of books that are coming out that I want, and I can't buy them all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the actual product itself, as far as the paper goes, the expense for that probably hasn't gone up very much. It's literally just paper type thing.
Yeah.
But all the stuff behind the scenes, like the artists and all the wheels in motion and the marketing and all that stuff, it's way more expensive than it used to be.
Sure.
So that has to be considered into the price of books. It just is what it is, type thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to the next comment, and I'm up again. Mm-hmm. This is from CMA Thunder. CMA Thunder.
Thunder.
I like it. I'm fine paying the price as long as the story and physical books are decent quality. Marvel is so cheap with their paper. They need to step it up in that respect. If paying these prices keeps books like Immortal Hulk and Joe Hill titles and all the great indie work coming, I'm fine with it. I was looking forward to reading this question, or this response. Mm-hmm. The reason why is he brings up the quality of the book itself.
Absolutely.
And I have some examples here, okay? So the first thing he talked about was Marvel. And here is Marvel's Amazing Spider-Man. Right here. There's no bag and board in this. The ink rubs off on your hands.
It
you
does.
cannot read this book without getting ink all over yourself and smudges and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
It is.
I don't know what they're doing, okay? It doesn't make sense. This is another Spider-Man title. This is the same price, but this is a different cardstock that they're using for the cover and also the pages inside. They're more of a glossy thing. Mm-hmm. This one, I can read, okay? This is the same price book. They're $3.99.
Right.
Both of them. Why don't they stick with a nicer paper quality? They're obviously have access to it. They're producing it. They're putting it out. You need to be able to make a quality book that people are going to enjoy, and it's going to last.
Right.
And then you go back, and I have some examples. I wanted to show these. Okay. This is DC. This is Justice League Dark. This is from the New 52. This was a $3.99 price. This cardstock is great. I love it. I mean, feel the cover. Feel the nice. It's thick.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, it feels good. It's nice, shiny, glossy artwork.
High quality.
Looks awesome. Why they went away from that, I don't know. Another one right here. This is Aftershock. This is Dark Arc number 6. This is a $3.99 book. The quality of this book is awesome. And feel that cover. What does that feel like to you?
Feels like cardstock to me.
Does it cardstock, just
Yep.
like the DC ones?
Yep.
And how much are the DC ones?
$4.99.
$4.99. Aftershock can do it. DC can do it too.
Yes, they can.
Okay. Here's another Justice League. This is a little bit better quality book right here. I like that one. You can kind of feel that. You can tell the difference between today's titles and that one. That was from a few years back. We put that up there. Everyone's going to enjoy that cover. Really? And then here's one right here. And this is from Titan Comics. Not a very large publisher.
Nope.
Okay, feel that book. It's like a novel.
It is. Heavy. More pages.
Yep.
Very high quality. You can feel
Yes.
it's nice.
Yes. Cover price on this book, $3.99. $3.99. Quality goes a long way for what I want to spend my money on. When I see a book that's something like this, and I'm a huge Marvel fan, and it's the same price as these other books, I want to buy the other books because I know that the quality of the book itself is better. The
Right.
pages are better. The cover is better. The big manufacturers, DC and Marvel, and I'm just going to say it, even though I'm fans of those, come on. Get with it. You know, bring back some of the older stuff you used to do. Pay a little extra money. If it costs more money, spend the money. People will be okay buying your product if it's a nicer product.
Absolutely.
I think that's a place where they really lack. And I just wanted to show those. I grabbed these books. I wanted to kind of have them on display and kind of talk about the quality of the book. And that's why I really wanted to talk about that comment that he left.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, it's not like they're going to, different print houses to get these things done. They're all coming from the same place. And you have two different practices. You have one company that obviously, Marvel, they can make a good quality comic book, which you just showed. And then you have another one sitting next to it that has cheaper paper and cheaper ink, obviously. Yeah. Right? And so they've cut corners there. And then you have DC, who can obviously make the same type of book. Right, they had actually hiked their price up $1 more for that cardstock, and so they're not cutting corners, but it's still a shady practice when they know that they can put that quality book out. Yeah. And so I agree with you there. There's another piece to this that I think is going on. I know this wasn't part of the comment, but I wonder if they've pushed the prices at the point to where they know that people that are going to buy their normal superhero books, right, are now at the limit of what they can actually spend, and now they might not go buy one of those independent books, right, because of the extra money that it's going to cost, because you're trying it out.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's a practice to try to keep people inside of their arena. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm sure it probably is. I mean, they have a lot more marketing tools than I do.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to my next comment here. And this is from Milk Mustache 007. I don't mind paying the new price, but I had a WTF moment when reading Absolute Carnage, and then I noticed the last few pages were just letters from the creators. What? Why can't they put that in their website or something along those lines? This is exactly what I was talking about with the X-Men stuff.
Yeah.
This is something that Marvel is doing, and I don't think Marvel's alone. I think they probably all kind of do this. They jack up the price. They put some more pages in it, and they're not for the book. They're not actually pages like in the story. It's like literally information or letters from the editor or something like that to make it look like a thicker book. This stuff, like what he mentioned, that should be on their website. You should literally go there, find out more about this book. Go to this website. You have access to all that stuff. that would sell more books.
Yeah.
Type thing. That's really frustrating. I totally understand where this guy's coming from because I bought that Absolute Carnage book, and sure enough, the last few pages were all just random stuff, had nothing to do with the story. And the same thing with like I said, the X-Men books had nothing to do with the actual story itself. It was literally an encyclopedia telling me about these characters and what's going on.
Absolutely. Are using a whole page to tell you the reading order of what you need to buy in order to get into that story. And look, we all know what the practices of Marvel and DC way back in the day in the 60s. There was a column page. There was, remember, Stan's Soapbox.
Yeah.
And, you had content like that. But those were every month you got that inside of the book. And it wasn't at the detriment of the rest of the story. You knew what you were getting.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they try to make it look like the same thing, but it's not. They're basically putting in filler and taking away from the actual regular, price of the book. And, those letters that come out, those are usually the letters that go into trade paperbacks. Keep them there.
Yep, that's what they are. Now, I got to give props to, as far as DC Black Label. They're charging a little bit more for the book, but, you don't get the ads, as far as the prestige books, and there's not a lot of filler. It's pretty much story from front to back type thing.
And it's high quality.
And people are enjoying it.
Very much so.
And I don't hear anyone complain about the price of those books.
Not once.
Which is great. You know, I mean, those books are $5-$6.99, and for the most part, people are okay paying for that because they like what they're getting.
Absolutely. Well, some people have OCD and don't like the size.
Yeah, I don't like the size.
Yeah. But really, truthfully, though, I mean, I enjoy them. I think they're very high quality, and as long as they keep putting out good stories, contained stories, 1 to 3 issues, and with the artwork that they're putting out, I love them.
Yeah. Well, that was a nice little rant right there. So, you're up next here, Bob.
Okay, yeah. This one comes from Joseph Walsh. Thank you, Joseph. For $90 a year membership fee, my shop offers a 20% discount on books and 10% on everything else in the store. That helps a lot. If it weren't for that discount, I'd probably only get half the books I do now.
Okay, I wanted to read this comment. I wanted to talk to Joseph right now. Joseph, this is for you. You're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
You should not be paying a $90 fee for that. This is a common practice as far as I know, and as far as I think you can say this as well. For the most part, you should receive a discount at your LCS for having a subscription box.
Absolutely.
As far as paying a membership fee, that's kind of surprising. I mean, I've heard of that years ago, like in the 80s. There was like a sign-up fee type thing.
Yep.
I can't think of any comic shop, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally off base. Maybe this is a practice throughout other states. But as far as I can remember, there hasn't been any type of membership fee. There's been a qualification, like you have to subscribe to a certain amount of titles, and you receive a discount type thing.
Right.
At my LCS, I receive 25% off. 25% is my discount on everything in the store.
Right.
New books, old books, statues, you name it, whatever they got, 25% off. For some reason, you can only get 10% off it. You're different. I don't know why he doesn't switch to mine, but that's a whole other story. But 25% off. I don't have to pay a fee or nothing like that. I just have to have books on my pull list every month type thing, and that's easy to do.
Yeah.
I literally, if I had 3 books on there, I would receive that 25% off. So, Joseph, I'm talking to you, man. I don't know what shop this is, but if you're paying a $90 membership fee for the discount, I'm glad you're getting the discount, but honestly, the normal practice, as far as I'm aware, you shouldn't be paying that $90 fee.
You should be getting anywhere from 10, 15, or even all the way up to 25% discount on your books. If you're getting, let's just say, what are they giving you here? 20%?
20%.
Let's just say a normal comic shop gives you 10 or 15% off for no sign-up fee whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? Take a look at basically what you're doing is you're paying $90 to get 5% more. Yeah. That's all you're getting. Now, tally up your books for the year and see if it adds up. I guarantee you it doesn't.
Yeah. And, I mean, you can go online and you can go to Midtown or TFA, which is my LCS is Things from Another World. They have a website, Things from Another World or TFA.com. You can literally order books there and save 25% off the cover price on whatever you order. If you order so many, you get free shipping type thing.
Right.
So when I saw that comment, I saw that you had to pay that membership fee. It made me mad. Because, I was like, man, they're taking $90 out of this guy's pocket stuff. Maybe it's worth it. And like I said,
you have to buy a lot of books for it to be worth it.
If I'm wrong, and if you guys if this is a common practice and you guys like, man, Bueller and Bob are just lucky, let us know in the comments. But for my money or whatnot, I don't think you should be paying that membership fee. I think you should just get your discount because of the titles that you're subscribed to and kind of go on from there.
Yeah.
But on the other half of this is a great way to save money on books.
Sure.
A lot of comic shops offer the discount. If you subscribe to their boxes, you're supporting the comic shop. You'll get that discount. You'll save a little bit of money. Like I said, I get a 25% off. So basically, every book I buy that's $3.99 is a $2.99 book.
Right.
Which I think a $2.99 book is the best book.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, there were many comments that talked about that particular price, right?
Price point $2.99 was what everyone was saying.
That was what they wanted.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now the thing is with the $2.99 price point though, and if you got an extra 25% off of that, nobody's making any money.
Nobody.
So it kind of comes and goes type thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, Joseph, thank you for the comment. Like I said, good luck with the comic shop. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
There we go. And then I'll get the last comment here. This one is from Tony Athanasios. I don't know. Close enough. Says, hi, Bueller. I like your videos. Well, thank you. I make sure I watch them every week. Keep it up, man. As far as comics, it's expensive, especially when we are overseas. When you mention the price, you mention it in US dollar, but in Australia, I get the comic for over $7 Australian. And the variants could reach $10. And now with DC Black Label, some of them are around $15 Australian. So yes, comics are expensive, especially if you have a family to look after. Sorry for the long comment. Tony, I love this comment. And this kind of brings it all back into perspective. Okay? I think $3.99 to $4.99 is kind of high. This gentleman is paying $7 to $10 or $15 for a DC Black Label book because it just difference where he's located in the world type thing. Imagine having your pull list and every book on there is around $10.
I wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah. It kind of makes me grateful for having the $3.99 price
Absolutely.
point and the $4.99 price point. I might have sat here during this video and kind of, let's just say it, bitched and complained a little bit, but I'm passionate about this subject. Sure. I think a lot of people were. That's why we had so many comments. But when I see Tony telling me that he's paying this amount for regular cover price books, that's crazy.
It's hugely crazy. And I was talking to you about this earlier today. Australia is not the only place that's expensive. There are a lot of other places around the world that they treat comics completely differently. Especially comics in their own areas. They pay their artists a heck of a lot more. Yeah. And so people back there pay more for the books because it's like a piece of art to them. And so, we pay minimal prices compared to what a lot of people around the world pay. And that should take us, make us take a step back and reflect.
Yeah. So I think we're lucky that they're not that price. I still consider them a little bit overpriced. Like you said before, I think most of the people in the comments really like the $2.99 price point. I don't think they're ever going to go back. That's just the way it is. And we just got to take a little minute and say thank you again, Todd McFarlane, for $2.99 Spawn.
Yes, sir.
Come on. I mean, that's just awesome, Major title, $2.99 still. But the fact that the books aren't that high, $7 to $10 here in the United States, we're lucky to be able to get them for the price that we are. Plus, we are able to take advantage of some discounts that are thrown our way through our local comic shops and stuff like that.
Right.
All in all, I think the most part, from all the comments I got, the common consensus was, they're overpriced, but if it's a good story and a good book, I'm okay with it type thing. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that's not that great. But for the ones that are a good story and a good book, I don't have a problem paying that price. And I think I fall in that boat. I think you probably do as well.
I do as well. I just want to say one thing. I am actually starting to change my practice of the way I buy comics. because there are so many independent comics that are coming out, and like you said yourself, your stack of independents are starting to grow. And I can't afford to keep buying everything. A lot of the superhero titles, that's where I started. That's where my love is at. So don't get me wrong, but a lot of those stories, they're not paying off the way I hope that they are, and these independents are.
Sure.
I have to give up something to be able to get something, and so I'm starting a practice of letting go of some of my superhero titles just so I can buy those independent titles because they're so good right now.
Is it hard to let go?
It is hard to let go, man.
It's hard to let go.
Just give me a second.
Well, that's a great topic. Thank you, Bob. Thank
Absolutely.
you, everyone who left a comment. We had some extra comments to this one because there were so many. Next week's question that's going to come out on the preview video this week. It'll be out on Wednesday. I will give you a sneak peek. The question is going to be, is Hollywood affecting comics in a good or bad way?
Great question.
Hollywood affecting comics in a good or bad way? What I'd like you guys to do, watch the preview video on Wednesday, watch all the comics that are coming out, and go ahead and leave that response on that video to the question. Like I said, Hollywood affecting comics in a good or bad way. We want to hear from you guys, and we will talk about it next week on next week's copy video.
That'd be awesome. I can't wait.
We'll probably get a lot of comments.
I think so. I think so.
That should be really good. But let's go ahead and get to our final five. And Bob, we'll let you go first. We're going to wrap things up here pretty quick.
All right. I brought a couple of more DC books. I got Metal Men, #1. I like that cover. I don't know why. Then I got the Batman number 81, City of Bane.
That's a Matina cover.
That's a Matina cover.
Funky Cold Matina.
There it is. And then I got the Batman Who Laughs #6. I love that cover. Kind of like the glowing red of fire.
Nice.
Then I got Flash Forward #2, where he's holding Superman's outfit, and I dropped him!
It's all right. Now keep going, man.
All right. The show must go on.
Look at this guy.
I know. Didn't even...
Luckily, they dropped only about 2 inches, so he's good.
There we go. And the last one is actually from IDW. This came out this week. This is Kill Lock. This book right here, Bueller and I actually did a review on this. It's already up. Go check it out. It's really great. And let us know what you think about the book.
Yeah, we'll have the link to it at the end of this video so you can check it out. And I think we're probably kind of on the same page about this book, so should be a nice review.
Absolutely.
So I got my 5. I'm not going to drop them. I'll show you how it's done, Bob.
Okay, thank you.
Nomen Omen #1. We just went to a comic book sale and I bought a bunch of books these were all 50 cents a piece. This one, Battle Pug #1. I've heard some good things about that one. That was only 50 cents. This one wasn't. This one was half off cover price, so it was $2. The Low Woods. This one just came out. Looking forward to reading that one.
Some more Black Label love.
Yep. And we have Spawn. Speaking of Spawn, $2.99 cover price. Number 303. I just didn't have that cover, and I figured since it was half off, $1.50, I'd buy it. And then this last one is Batman Last Night on Earth. This is book 3. I didn't pick it up when it came out, and it was half off, so it was $3. So I bought that one. That's my final 5. See how they all stood up there?
Oh, so nice and perfect. Look at that.
Perfect. They don't even have boards on them. They still stood up there. It's like, what are you doing? Experience.
Yeah, here we go.
There you go. So anyway, that's my final 5, and they're staying up there. Make sure you check out the reviews that we're going to be have up, the Kill Lock and the Venom one. That should be pretty good. But all in all, I think this has been a great conversation. A lot of things covered. It's probably going to be a long video. I can already tell by looking at the timer. We've been doing this for a while. But you know what? I think it's a great conversation that we had to have.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the comments made some great points, and very passionate about the subject, so I was looking forward to doing it. Real quick, Bob, tell them a little bit about your channel again, little clip here.
Yeah, Everything Comics. I got a show on Saturdays, drops every Saturday afternoon. Having comics with my coffee. Tune in. Love to see you there, guys. Thanks very much.
Awesome, and don't forget, if you want to enter the giveaway for this week, just leave a comment down below. You can say whatever you want. You can say this show is not that great. You can say this show is great. It doesn't matter. You're entered either way.
There we go.
And you can win the IT books from Blackbox Comics, so that's awesome. A quick reminder, auction this Thursday, selling some books, trying to keep the lights on. And really, I think that's about it. I had a good time.
Me too.
All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time. Bye.